Alright, so moving on from these three other products here that are not the best. In fact, they've become obsolete. We can now move on to my four best products that I've seen, and this one is a different one. I'll get back to that. And starting from this one on the left, it's called a Waterlite. Although you can probably barely see it. It's came in a black cover, black and white cover, as you can see. Also made by Rustoleum. And this stuff, it's like rubber. Now, just take a look at this piece here, which and compare it to the other piece that I ripped off from this one or the other one, for example. I'm exerting quite a bit of force on this, and as you can see, it had very little surface area. It's very, very hard. It's on paper, but you gotta exert quite a bit of force to rip this thing off. And the texture, it's very rubbery. The best way, I think this one was probably one of the best ones. And all these ones here, they're all very similar to this one, and they're all pretty much polyurethane, as you can see. Polyurethane, the other ones are polyurethane as well. And this one, it actually says it's for concrete and masonry, but I find that it works perfectly fine on steel. I haven't tried it on wood, but I'm pretty confident that it would work as well. Flexible joint filler, fills cracks and voids, seals and waterproofs, remains flexible over time. It fulfills all of those things, so I'm pretty impressed. I loved this product. If I find it and I need it again, I'll definitely buy it. It says for concrete walls, walkways, floors, windows, doors, and panels. And it's just, like I said, a great product. It's made of polyurethane, which is pretty much rubber. It's essentially rubber. The texture when it is when it's new, when it's still green, it's very, very sticky. And the best way to describe the best way to describe the texture, it's like liquid bubble gum. Not liquid, almost like molten bubble gum. That's it. It's very, very sticky, and if you get it on your hands, it won't come off. You can try wiping it off with a towel, it won't come off. You gotta clean it up with like either gasoline, diesel, or some paint thinner or something like that. And once it cures, not even that will get it off. You gotta, pretty much the only way that I know of to remove this, obviously there must be some special chemical out there, but the only practical way of removing this stuff is mechanically through grinding or cutting it off with a knife. It is pretty brilliant stuff. So once again, polyurethane, that's what it looks like. The texture is, like I said, pretty much molten bubble gum. And okay, let me just read to you what it says there. Joint must be dry and free from dust, so this is really important. If you have water on it, this will not really stick. It won't stick to it. If you got oil on it, you can sort of still push it in there and mix it around. You might still get it, but still, you always want things to be as clean as possible, regardless of what product you're applying or what the product claims. I always, like I said, always clean it up. And alright, so must dry, free from dust, oil, and loose particles. Blah 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 blah. It says you can only use it up to 12 millimeter. I mean, like, why not 13? Why 12? Anyways, use a putty knife to level and smooth the surface, yeah, or your fingers. Okay, top coat can be applied as a sealant after sealant has cured for 72 hours. So this is pretty important too. I applied this product originally on the fender, the inner fender of the Rambler, to seal up the joints and the ridges. So those are the weak points, weak spots. And it did take quite a while for it to dry. There's one bad thing about, not the product, but you always got to look at the shelf life and try to look at expiry date. As you can see, this one just it blew up the side. The side just exploded. And that's because when I bought it, it was really hard. And I bought it and I used it just the same day. So it was sitting on the shelf for, I don't know how long. I didn't look at the expiry date or the date it was made. But that's one thing you gotta watch out for. So it was really hardened up and it would barely come off from the nozzle. So I had to pretty much press it really hard and it blew up the side, and that wasn't nice. So I don't. After that, I applied this. I then applied the rubberized asphalt undercoating on it, and it sticks to it just fine. I don't know about paint. I don't know if it'll stick. I haven't tested it yet. But by the texture and by the way it feels, I'm pretty sure paint will stick to it. But again, it's not. It's one of those situations where it's not really. Where on a car will I come across a situation where I need to apply paint on this? Pretty much nowhere. I can't think of one single place where I need to apply paint over this here, with the small exception of the Thunderbird has a stainless steel trim that goes around the hood, and in between there you need to apply some of this stuff so that water doesn't get in between the trim and the painted surface. But it's one car that's like that. I can't think of any other place. And I use this other one here, which we'll get to that in the next video. And you can apply paint just easily. It does not mention paint, but it says a top coat. So I don't know if it's a top coat of the same sealant. But it worked, like I said, it worked fine with the rubberized asphalt. So that's where I like to use this product mainly. Yeah. Well, I think that pretty much covers that one. Once again, Waterlite polyurethane sealant, 300 milliliters, made by Rustoleum.